Hi, everyone. I'm Taylor Comblouzier, a mining analyst at Red Cloud. This session of our fall mining showcase will feature Dore Copper mining. From the company, we have with us Ernest Mast, who's the president and CEO. I'll note if any attendees have questions to just type it in the chat and we'll get to them at the end of the presentation. The presentation is also posted on the conference website. And with that, I'll turn it right over to Ernie to guide us through the story.
Thank you very much, Taylor, and thanks for everyone for attending the talk. I'll be going over the Dore Copper story over the next 20 minutes, and we're really looking forward to sharing this with you. I'll be giving some forward-looking information. And so really what we're looking to do here is establish a hub and spoke operation centered around our projects in the Chibougamau area of Quebec. This area is approximately 500 kilometers north of Montreal, located in the eastern Abitibi Greenstone Belt. We have a series of deposits, all located within 60 kilometers of our Copperand mill. These deposits include Joe Mann, a past-producing high-grade gold mine, Corner Bay, a high-grade copper mine, the Devlin deposit, another copper mine, the Cedar Bay deposit, a past-producing copper gold mine, and the Copperand deposit. We also have other deposits, but we're really focused on these. These deposits have the potential to grow, and we should be able to do the redevelopment at a low capital cost using the existing infrastructure. We're currently funded for a 35,000 meter drill program that we're executing right now and into 2021, and this should lead to a resource update and a PEA in 2021. And this hub and spoke operation should be producing over 100,000 ounces a year of gold equivalent, or 60 million pounds a year of copper equivalent. We are really focused on gold and copper. These are two excellent commodities that go very well together with our assets. As we know, the gold price is between $1,900 and $2,000 US an ounce, which translates to record prices in Canadian dollars. And the copper market is also very robust, with the price over $3.10 a pound. And the future for copper is very bright. The electrification that we are seeing in the transportation industry, as well as recent stimulus in China, have resulted in that we should continue to see copper growth. And the existing copper mines aren't able to keep up, either due to a decrease in grades or the mines running out. And so a 5 million ton deficit is projected in the next decade. There are some projects coming in to fill that pipeline, but really not enough. And so we should continue to see strong copper prices going forward. So we think we're in the right commodities at the right time. Little more detail on our land position and the deposits that we do have. We currently own or option 10,500 hectares of land, and in three areas. One is the area around Chibougamau, where we have the Cedar Bay deposit, the Copperand deposit, the Lac Dore deposit, as well as our mill. And then on the south side of Lake Chibougamau, we have the Corner Bay deposit and the Devlin deposit. And then 60 kilometers from the mill, we have the Joe Mann deposit, past producing gold mine. And so Chibougamau is 500 kilometers north of Montreal. And these mines have been in operation, or some of the mines have been in operation for many years. But what we found was that there's great exploration potential at these deposits. And we are currently working on the expansion of those resources, whether it's the Corner Bay deposit, which is high-grade copper with some gold, the Cedar Bay deposit, which is predominantly gold with some copper, the Copperand deposit, which is a nice mix of copper and gold, and then the Joe Mann deposit, which is predominantly a gold deposit. The area has very good infrastructure and very good connectivity to southern Quebec and eastern and western Quebec, as well as there being an airport in the area. So a little history of the company. We formed in 2017 as a private company. I'm one of the shareholders I'm one of the founders and obviously a shareholder along with one of the other founders, Mario Stefano, our chairman. In 2017, we acquired the assets with an option agreement. We drilled the deposits during 2018 as a private company. We issued a 43-101, and then in late 2019, we went public and started trading under the symbol DCMC on the TSXV. During 2020, we optioned the Mann Deposit. And during 2020, we've been executing on our drill program. This is going to lead to updated resources and a PEA in 2021. Currently, we only have 31.8 million shares outstanding, and it's quite tightly held, with only 31% held by individual individual investors or funds. 19% is held by insiders. Ocean Partners own 23%. Ocean Partners are a metals trading firm, and they have the offtake for our copper concentrate production. Ocean Partners were the owners of these deposits when we optioned them from them in 2017, and that's how they got their ownership stake. We have some Quebec Inc. funds invested in the company, as well as private equity funds, RCF and Orion, who provided us the seed capital for the first exploration program in 2017. So very good shareholder base, very tightly held, low share count, and excellent shareholders. So in some ways, we're very unique. One of the ways we're unique is that the copper grade of our 43-101 deposits, being Corner Bay and Cedar Bay, is on the high side compared to other similar development properties in North America. And on the gold grade, is also quite high. The Mann Deposit, with a historic grade of 8.26 grams per ton, compares very favorably with currently producing gold mines in Canada on a reserve basis. And the Cedar Bay grade of 8.72 grams per ton compares very favorably with resource grades at other Canadian operations. So on top of this, not only do we have high-grade copper and high-grade gold, but we're also 14 kilometers from the town of Chibougamau, giving us a very favorable location. Low capital intensities anticipated because of the existence of the infrastructure that we have. So the Corner Bay deposit, this is the higher grade copper deposit that we have. We currently have 3 million tons at a grade of 3.47% copper. We doubled the size of this deposit as a private company, and we're currently drilling it, and we do expect the deposit to continue to increase significantly. $25 million were spent on this deposit prior to 2008, where the mine was essentially 90% built. 3 levels were developed, 2 kilometers of underground workings, and a 40,000-ton bulk sample were taken that was treated in our mill with 94% copper recoveries. The distance to the mills, 45 kilometers. The deposit is open along strike and at depth. Here we see a long section of the lower portion of the ore body where we've been drilling during 2020. We've drilled over 11,000 meters, and of the 11 holes we've drilled, 9 of the holes have significantly increased the size of the deposit. The deposit is still open towards the south, as shown on the diagram, but also the deposit's open towards the north and up plunge along the north, where there's some high-grade holes that we're going to be following up on. You can see an image of the core from earlier this year. We can say this is typical Corner Bay core. It's just really a mix of chalcopyrite and a little bit of pyrite. There's no impurities in this or very low levels of arsenic or bismuth or antimony or any other impurity that negatively affects its subsequent treatment. So we're really excited here at Corner Bay in terms of the ability of this deposit to continue to grow in size, and we fully anticipate getting closer to 5 million tons after the current drilling program. The Cedar Bay deposit, this was an operating mine from 1958 to 1990, operated at grades of 1.63% copper and 3.21 grams per ton gold. And it was operated to a depth of 670 meters with ore coming from the main zone, the central zone, and the 1020 A and B zones. After the mine closed, the subsequent operator drilled the deposit beneath the current workings at a level closer to the shaft, which is at about 1,000 meters. And they had the nice surprise of intersecting some high-grade gold. So we followed up while a private company, and we're able to replicate those high-grade gold assays with assays of 15 to 20 grams per ton gold and a few percent copper. A resource was determined of 360,000 tons with average grade of 8.7 grams gold and 1.92% copper. And earlier this year, we've been drilling this deposit. We've drilled the deposit from the northeast and from the southwest. The drilling from the northeast established the strike definition of the deposit, where the central vein was expanded about 100 meters along strike with an intercept of 14.2% copper, so very high grade. And the drilling from the southwest hole CDR 20-08 established the down dip potential of the deposits, and the deposits actually are still open down dip. So our plans for Cedar Bay in the future are to look at dewatering the existing shaft and commence drilling from underground, as we'll be a lot closer to these ore bodies, these lenses, which are open at depth. While drilling the holes from the northeast, we also intersected close to surface a hole at an adjacent mine, Copper Cliff, where we had 2.3 meters at 13.6 grams per ton gold and 7.3% copper. And that was one of the highest grade holes that we've intersected on this program. And we definitely will be following up on that hole as well. The Mann Deposit is a 1,990 hectare deposit, or land package, which we have optioned. The majority of the past production from this mine of 1.2 million ounces at 8.26 grams per ton came from the main zone. And we're currently drilling the Mann Deposit now. We're drilling the main zone, we're drilling the west zone, we're drilling the south-south zone, and we're also drilling an area called the far west zone. The Mann Deposit is open in lots of directions, and this long section here shows you the areas that we're targeting on the main zone and on the west zone. The mine stopped operating in 2007, and subsequently in 2008, two holes were drilled beneath the current workings. The intercepts were spectacular, with 1.8 meters and 3 meters at about an ounce per ton. And so the current drilling is looking to drill around those two intercepts. And on the west zone, it was partially mined out, but there's still a lot of intercepts there that can be used to form a resource, and we're drilling down dip of those. On the bottom, you see a couple of photos of the core that we've intersected. When you see these massive sulfides at Mann, it's usually pretty good news in terms of the gold grades, but we're currently waiting for the assays to come in. The Copper Deposit was the largest deposit historically in the camp, with 14.9 million tons at grades a little less than 2% copper and 3 grams per ton gold. In 2007, they did their last resource statements, and at the time, they had over 2 million tons of ore. Our strategy towards Copper Round is a little different than towards the other mines, where we're going to wait and see how we develop the Cedar Bay deposit prior to making any kinds of decisions at Copper Round, because we can access the ore potentially from Cedar Bay as opposed to from the Copper Round mine. But again, there's lots of exploration potential here at Copper Round as well. I shall mention also the infrastructure that we have, which really sets us apart from peer companies, in that we already have a 2,700 ton per day mill and a tailings facility. And these facilities are located only 14 kilometers from the town of Chibougamau. The facility was last operated in 2008. So there will be some money required to upgrade the mill and get it back into operation, but probably a fraction of what it would cost to build a new mill. The town of Chibougamau itself, 7,500 people. It was built in the 1950s, actually at the same time as the original mines were built in the Lac Dore Chibougamau camp. The town is very closely associated with resource development, being a mining town, a logging town, also related to the hydroelectric production that occurs in the area. So really, we're in an excellent location. Our site also has road access, has power access, and this is definitely a greenfield opportunity here. The company has had active engagement with all stakeholders. The First Nations group that we're dealing with is the Cree Nation, and the Cree Nation more specifically related to Ojibougamau, very experienced in natural resources, and we're really looking forward to working with them as we progress our project. There has been strong support from Quebec funds. As I mentioned, a couple of funds have already invested in us, and other ones are sure to follow. The government is very mature in relation to supporting mining projects. The Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources, as well as the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change, are supportive of mining projects, and we've been working with them in terms of ensuring, we understand the steps required as we go forward with the restart of this camp. So the upcoming catalysts, the current 25,000 meter drill program at Corner Bay and Cedar Bay, we've drilled about 17,000, 18,000 meters of that program. So we'll continue to drill and continue to get good results at those deposits. There's a current 8,000 meter drilling program going on at Joe Mann, where we're going to identify high grade gold extensions of the currently known deposits. I have to reiterate that our deposits are open along strike and at depth. We continue always to evaluate our other opportunities in the camp, and we're actually doing also some environmental baseline studies. This is going to lead us into 2021, where we're going to continue and finish off the current drill program. We'll update the resources and look to do a PEA. And then upon completion of the PEA, we'll start to get into a little more detail on the exact sequencing of the mines and the exact infrastructure rehabilitation that we're going to do, as well as ensure that our permits are in place, as well as the formalized relationship with the First Nations communities. So in summary, we've consolidated a large land package in the prolific Lac Dore Chibougamau camp. Our deposits are in a position where they can be expanded either along strike or down depth, and they tend to be high grade copper or gold. And the redevelopment should occur at low capital costs because of the existence of the infrastructure, whether it's the mill, the tailings dam, the underground development and access that is already in place, as well as the location as well as the proximity to the town of Chibougamau. And we should continue to have good news flow with the ongoing fully funded 35,000 meter drill program, and that is expected to lead to updated resources and a PEA during 2021. And really, our goal, to reiterate, is to create a profitable hub and spoke operation with high grade copper gold assets, looking to produce over 100,000 ounces per year of gold equivalent, or 60 million pounds per year of copper equivalent. So Taylor, that's a summary of our presentation. I don't know if you have any questions.
Great. Thanks very much, Ernie. That was a great overview, and the catalyst slide is very helpful. That covered a lot of mine, but I guess just a quick one. Are there any outstanding assays remaining from the Corner Bay or Cedar Bay drilling from this past year?
Yeah, there's a couple of assays still outstanding on the Cedar Bay drill program, and of course we're drilling at Joe Mann, so those assays are starting to come in. So the market should start to see the Joe Mann assays coming in. For sure, we'll have them issued before the end of the year.
Perfect. And one question in the chat is, what do you envision the revenue split for copper versus gold?
Good question in that it really depends on the mix of mines, but currently we're anticipating maybe 55-45 copper to gold present time. But, that can change pretty quickly with some success at Joe Mann, where it could potentially go more gold than copper. But right now it looks like it's very close to being 50-50.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Ernie. It looks like we're just out of time, so we should let everybody get to the next session. But that was great. Thanks for presenting today.
You're very welcome, and hoping everyone has a good day and good rest of the conference.